Okay, welcome to an example. Here we've got the amount of time it takes a kidney stone to pass is normally distributed. That's our key phrase, normally distributed. Mean 13, standard deviation 5, da, da, da. Okay, so right here, they always just want you to put the mean and the standard deviation. The mean is 13, standard deviation is 5. As you see, the answer is right there. Okay, part B, find the probability randomly selected person with a kidney stone will take longer than 9 days. Okay, so for part B, I'll come down here. So we draw ourselves a little bell curve, put right in the middle the mean of 13. And so they're saying longer than 9 days. So 9 days, it'd be like somewhere over here to the left, and longer goes that way, right? So longer is to the right. So we're going to go to the normal, what's it called? Normal probability calculator. And it's going to ask us for the low, the high, the mean, oops, the standard, and the P. We fill in 4 of them. So what the low and the high, whenever we do the low and the high, that's the left edge and the right edge. So this is the low. The high is going to be right here. Well, we do a better job of that. The high is going to be, right here, which is positive infinity, which we put in as 6 nines, positive infinity. So the low and the high are the left and the right edge of the shading. That's what the low and the high always are, the left and the right edges of the shading, the part of the bell curve that's shaded. So the low is 9, the high is forever to the right. Forever to the right is always positive infinity. So we're going to go, okay, so the low is 9, the high is 6 nines. The mean, now what's the mean? That was 13, standard deviation was 5. Okay, and so then we just hit the buttons and it'll give us the P, which will be 0.7881. That's what will come out when you hit calculate. So, all right, here, let me show that. I'll show that real quick here. Calculator. So if you're, so we open up the calculator. So you go to the home page, click on the calculator on the home page. And in here, it's number 8, normal probability, because it says normally distributed. Click on that. Problem said normally distributed. So the low, as we said, was 9. The high was 6 nines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more. The mean is 13, standard deviation 5. Calculate. 0.7881, just like we said, there's that answer. Okay, now back to part C, which is really probably why you're tuning in on this video. So part C. Okay, so now this is the tricky part C. So coming on down, part C says find the minimum number for the upper quarter of the time to pass a kidney stone. Yeah. So for part C, I'm going to draw the bell curve again. Okay, put the middle on there, 13. Now it's talking about the upper quarter. So that means breaking it into 4 quarters. Like right there would be Q1, and right there would be Q3, right? So we're saying this is, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. Like breaking the whole bell curve up into 4 quarters, like a football game or basketball game, right? First quarter ends at Q1, second quarter halftime, third quarter ends at Q3, fourth quarter. So the 4 quarters, each 25% or 0.25 of the bell curve. Okay, so now it says find the minimum number for the upper quarter. Where's that? What's the minimum number for the upper quarter? Well, that's right here. Because this is the upper quarter, and this is the minimum. It's the beginning of the upper quarter, isn't it? So that's the minimum value of the upper quarter. So that's what they want. That's the spot they want us to find. So we're going to go to the online calculator. We got to go low, high, mean, standard, P. Remember how it works? There's 5 slots. We fill in 4 of them, hit calculate, and it finds the 5th one. So this is the upper quarter. So remember the low and the high, what are they? They're the left edge and the right edge of the part of the curve that's shaded, of the shaded chunk. So the low and the high are the left edge and the right edge of the shaded chunk. So what is the left edge of this shaded chunk? What's this right here? This is going to be the low, which we don't know. That's what they're asking us to find out. What is that low? Over here is going to be the high. And what is that high? That's positive infinity, meaning 6, 9, 4, 5, 6. So the low, I'm going to leave that blank. The high is going to be 6 9s because it's positive infinity, right? Because the shaded piece, the upper quarter, goes from a low, a left edge, which we don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. That's what they're asking us. What is the Q3? What is the beginning of the upper of the third of the upper quarter, right? The upper quarter, the last quarter. What is the beginning of the 4th quarter? Well, it's the Q3. Q3 is the end of the 3rd quarter, the beginning of the 4th quarter, the beginning of the upper quarter. So this shaded piece, the left edge is the low, which I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. The right edge is 9999. The rest we know. The mean is 13. The standard deviation is 5. And what part of the curve is in there? 0.25. Does that make sense? Because remember, P always stands for the part of the curve that we're talking about. 25%. This shaded piece is 25% of the bell curve. So you put that in. You leave the low blank because you're trying to find the low. What is the left edge? We know the right edge is positive infinity. What is the left? We're saying, hey, calculator, what is the left edge of a shaded piece that's 25% of the graph if the right edge is positive infinity? And you hit calculate, and it'll tell you this. Just like on the last one, we left this part blank, right? We left the P blank and hit calculate, and the calculator told us. So the answer it's going to give us is 16 point, it's going to tell us, well, right here, it's going to tell us this blank is 16.3725, and that's going to be our answer. That's the beginning of the 3rd quarter. That's right here. That's, well, I should do it differently. That's this spot right there is 16.3725. Let me show you on the online calculator. So back here, we're on the same curve, but now I'm going to make the low blank. The high is still the same, mean and standard still the same, and the P now is 0.25. Calculate. There it is, 16.3724, I guess. 3724, 16.3724. That's close enough. So 3724, 3725, it'll take either answer. So there we go. That's how that works. Go back. To the problem here. So there it is. So again, one more time, to find the upper quarter, the minimum or the beginning of the upper quarter, you know, it's 4 quarters like a football game, basketball. This is the beginning of the upper quarter, which is a 25% of the curve. And the left edge, we don't know. That's the low, that's the blank. The high is positive infinity. And then we put in 25% for P, and it tells us the low would have to be 16.3725. Meaning, what are we talking about? Meaning a person whose kidney stone takes 16.3725 days or longer to pass is in the upper quarter, not somewhere you want to be. Not fun. Taking your kidney stone longer than most people. And you're in the upper quarter. And so there we go.